Hey there, Jason with Gun Carry Reviews. Just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on adding some paracord to your neck knife. Basically, this is something that I had to search quite a bit to find, so I thought that I would try and share it with you so you don't have to search quite as much as I did. If you're not into these little bead necklaces that sometimes come with the neck knives, you can switch it up pretty easily with paracord. And the way you're going to want to do that is you're going to take a nice long length of paracord, something that's far too long for what you're proposing, and use a button knot. And the way you do a button knot is basically, I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra length here. So first we're going to take our cord, we're going to make a loop overhand, then we're going to make another overhand loop like that. We end up with this sort of pretzel shape. You're going to go over, under, sort of turns it into kind of a bit of a clover shape. You bring this end back around, you're going to go over, under two, and then back up through the middle. Now, this is going to become your button knot. As you start to tighten this down near the end, you can see that it started to take shape, that sort of Celtic knot-like shape that you're looking for. You work that down kind of slowly, and you'll see that there's a center that has formed. As you're working that down, what you're going to do is you're going to take your other end from your paracord from the other side of your neck knife. You're going to take that and you're going to run it through the center in the opposite direction. Okay? So that way, that's going to be there in the middle of this knot as you tighten it down. And then you just work out your extra length, just following the knot around very quickly. Not a big deal. Nothing fancy about that part. That's a regular button knot. What that's going to do, once that's tightened down nicely, is that's going to allow for this end to remain stable, where this end can pass freely through the knot. Now, problem is, you've got to tie that same knot on this one and incorporate that. That's where the trickiness comes in. Okay, I've tightened this button knot down a little bit, gotten things a little bit more in order, just following the string, just pulling it through the knot, and make sure that it's nice and tight. Okay, so now what we have to do is give ourselves plenty of extra length for the other side, and we have to incorporate this other portion of the paracord for our neck lanyard that's already tied. We've got to incorporate that in for the other knot. So we're going to take our loose end, we're going to make the same knot, but what we're going to do is we're going to just make sure that this one is passing through the center the whole time. The way you're going to do that is everything that you're going to tie, you're just going to want to make sure that this end, the far end, is on top of the knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to still form that same shape, that flipped over shape, that pretzel shape, but instead of going over, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it under, make that same shape. I'm going to do that same flip over again. Again, I'm going to go under and just bring it around. So we still got that same pretzel shape that we had before if you ignore this line. This is our line that we want to go through the center. So just like before, we're going to go over, we're going to go under, we're going to ignore that middle one, we're going to go over, we're going to go under. Still have that middle one coming through the middle. Okay, take this line, just like before, we're going to go over, under two, and out through the top. Now, they should come out side by side just like that. Then, when you tighten down your diamond knot, what you're going to end up with once I get all this excess out is the same knot that's going to allow the other side of the paracord to pass through, just like before. Only now you've got a knot on each end that acts as a stop, so that you can make a large loop for it to go over your head and then pull your knots to each side and shorten up that neck knife line to whatever length you want. This is where you want to keep this knot somewhat loose and experiment with the length. Try and figure out what's going to be a good length, and then work that knot to that length. Once you have worked that knot, as you can see, this line is going to pass right through, just like this one passes through here, and eventually what you have is you're going to have two knots that come together, and when you pull them apart you can adjust the length of your neck knife. So we just want to take this one down so it's just in the right shape. Work that down just a little bit, and then we can start experimenting on how much of a loop we actually need for our neck knife, and then trim accordingly. Then once you're done with that, if you have something like this where you have very little room at the tip there where this is coming through, what I find you can do is just pass through like a half hitch, and your neck knife will end up where your line is sort of coming out like that, where it's sort of neutral at the top. It doesn't want to stick out one way or the other, and then you have a paracord lanyard instead of the good old bead ball necklace. So no more noise from beads on hard plastic moving around, and you've got a little bit of paracord to boot. How can you go wrong? Alright, well, I hope that helps you guys. Took me a while. Here we are at the end. You can see that once I've got this adjusted down to the size that I would use it at, I ended up with quite a lot of excess cordage that's got to be trimmed off and then of course burned to make sure that the end stays nice and neat for you. You could trim that and burn it a little bit closer to the knot if you wanted to. If you do that, you just want to make sure that you flatten it out so that it doesn't unravel. You want to make sure that the knot doesn't come untied. But what you've got here is a nice size loop for a neck loop, and then you just take these two knots, you pull them apart once it's over your head, and you can actually work this down. This is large enough that I can actually work this knot all the way down and still have enough room to wear this blade around my neck as a neck knife and have the knots in the front. So that gives me the maximum amount of cordage on this little teeny lanyard in a very simple way, adjustable. It's the way I tend to carry when I need a neck lanyard. Hope this is helpful to you guys.